The coach is back, and we are going to talk a little bit this week about Sooners fans shutting up Michigan fans with a physical, overpowering effort in Norman. Sarkisian snaps at the media over questions about Arch Manning's arm. Big 12 officiating blunder helps Missouri beat the Kansas Jayhawks over the weekend and helps that officiating crew to a week off. And of course, we got to talk with the coach about the Irish in week 1 and preview their week 3 matchup, at home against the Texas A&M Aggies. All that right now on Hall of Fame College Football with Jason and the Coach.
You know what, guys? In a nice way, y'all. We don't give a shit.
Good evening, and welcome back to Hall of Fame College Football with Jason and the Coach. I'm your host, Jason Watkins. He's the coach, Philip Roybal. And if you love college football, you know you're in the right place. So before you forget, smash that red subscriber button, like our videos, and don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss one moment of Hall of Fame College Football. Coach, you're back. Good to see you, man.
Hey, it's great to be back, man. I missed being here.
I know you
hell,
have.
I think it's been a month.
A month.
Or over.
A month, man. We ain't seen y'all ass in a month. Man, it's been
I know.
Wild. Been wild, man.
I can't.
Started the season.
Y'all are some lucky suckers not seeing me that long.
I was telling the guys on the Michigan show that I did the other day because they like pulled me way up when they were talking to me about the game or whatever preview. Uh-oh. And we got a problem with my video feed here.
Yeah.
Don't know. Anyway, as I told them, I do have a face for radio. So, so I was hoping that they would pull back on me. I guess I'm doing it to myself here real quick. Let me see what's going on here. This is wild. Let's see. Unplug, replug. Let's see. I don't know. All right. Well, let me I'll restart. I'll start off with a question for you, and then I'll kind of work my way through it. So
Okay.
yeah. All right, Coach. Well, let's go ahead and start with that. We hadn't talked to you in a month or whatever. So tell us what you. I mean, obviously that was a tough game. I think that for me it felt like Notre Dame was very rusty starting off with. Particularly CJ Carr wasn't really ready for what it was. But at the end of the game, when they came roaring back there, he looked to be a lot better. My hope would be if I'm a Notre Dame fan, I'm hoping that we see more of second half CJ instead of first half CJ. Tell us what your thoughts were.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I don't think it was CJ at all. I think it was our offensive line, our defensive line. We were absolutely horrendous in the trenches, which in the past has been one of our strengths, especially on the offensive line. But we did not handle their defensive line well at all. I was very disappointed in our offense coordinator and the play call selection for this ball game. And I understand you're trying to get your quarterback that is his first start in a top 10 matchup, but at the same time, I think you've got to open things up. I was pissed. I'm still pissed that Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price don't get the rock. And what the hell are we thinking? You're muted. You're muted, Jace. But anyway, they're not getting the rock, and that you've got arguably one of the best running backs in the country, and Jadarian is the backup. He's pretty damn good as well. And so why do we not give them the football? And I understand. I was watching with a coach's eye as well, and what they were doing to us defensively up front. They were daring us to throw the football, and they had plenty of people in the box, and the reads for our quarterback, for CJ, was to pull and throw the ball. But even those throws, we weren't even throwing intermediate routes. We were throwing screen after screen after screen, and later in the ball game, it gets picked off, and ultimately, hurts us.
Coach, can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted
So
to ask you about that part at first. Was just you
yeah,
didn't get a near enough of Jeremiah Love in that game. In fact, CJ Carr had more carries.
yeah, yeah, and I just was very disappointed in the game plan, offensively and defensively. We have a new coordinator in Ash. After the game, I was calling him Ass instead of Ash, because our defense, we're known to be aggressive, big hitters. We were very inaggressive. The touchdown right before the half. You know, we all these the safety. All he's got to do is make a break on the ball, and he breaks it up or picks it off. But he's waiting on the ball to come to him, and I got to tell you, that comes to me. That comes from this zone bullshit that we're now running. In our everybody knew we were man coverage, and they took advantage of that at times. But you know what? We played aggressively when we were in man coverage, and I'm good getting in the zone every once in a while, but we
Not when
have
you're a man
become
team, right?
very
Not when
inaggressive.
you're a man
Yeah,
team. You don't want to see it a bunch when what you're good at is coverage man to man.
exactly, and we did a piss poor job of that, and then our defensive tackles were atrocious. We were getting driven off the ball.
One
And
thing you
and
got to
and
think about
we
that though is Miami with Cristobal. One thing he does very well is build
no,
his
I agree.
offensive line.
Yeah,
So I would think that was their strength against maybe your weakness a little bit because it's just in view of the
I
fact
agree.
you've got a bunch of young guys kind of just starting off right there, right?
No, and I agree. You're 100% right. Crystal Ball is a O line guy, and he does a great job, and he's got a good O line. He really does.
Yeah.
But we got. I think we have an undersized Heinisch, playing defensive tackle in there, and they were just driving him off the ball. And we got to get better in there. We had a lot of missed tackles in this ball game, and most of the missed tackles came between the defensive front, from defensive end to defensive end, and it was all inside is where we had a lot of missed tackles. Drake Bowen, I love Drake Bowen, but he didn't play a very good ball game either. But again, I'm going to attribute that to the inaggressiveness and the scheme. So I'm hoping that we put something together this next week, both offensively and defensively, with our coordinators that we're going to be able to be more aggressive on defense, and let's push the ball up the field on offense and get the ball in Jeremiah Love's hands.
Yeah, that was what the thing was with me watching it. I'm thinking, okay, at some point, even if you're down, you've got to get out there and give it to your best player. And there's not even a fucking doubt about who the best player on that team is, particularly on the offensive side. I mean, it's not even a doubt. You got to feed that kid the football and stop.
Good God. I mean, how can you go into a ball game like that, first game of the season, and not feed him the ball? And I got to tell you, you know, although he wasn't getting the ball, we gave it to Jadarian. Jadarian breaks some good runs. I mean, he had some good runs. He fumbled it.
You expect different from Mike Denbrock than that, though.
I do, and that's why I'm pissed. Because come on, man. I mean, and I'm not trying to be derogatory to middle school coaches here, but I guarantee you, I could have taken a fucking middle school coach and had him call the plays,
right?
And he would have done a hell of a lot better, because you know what? He would have been smart enough to say, I need to give these two running backs the football.
Yeah.
And that would have opened up the passing game for us down the field. And I'm going to tell you what, CJ Carr can throw the ball down the field, but you got to let him do it. And he was limited to throwing the damn screens, which was atrocious.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of shit to fix.
Definitely. And you've got a tough, I think a lot of people might think a little different of this. I'm not sure what I think of Texas A&M coming in this. I know their quarterbacks looked okay the first couple of weeks. They've played the Sisters of the Poor, though, and they haven't really stopped anybody on defense yet, which that's what Mike Elko does. So It's, to me, you get a home game. Obviously, my guess is that Marcus Freeman has been more than pointed about what he expects coming into this home game as far as the offensive game plan is concerned. And you've got a team that, despite being 2-0, looks gettable. It's a win you got to have, right?
And I agree with you, Jason. And Notre Dame, we got to stay with our strong discipline that we play with. We got to execute in the red zone. And again, you talking about A&M, their quarterback. I mean, he's what is it, Marcel Reed? He's a I mean, he can run, he can throw. So we're going to have to be able to contain. I personally would put him in a situation where he's got to throw the ball. Which that reminds me, another thing I'm pissed off about now that we're talking about this is we tried to rush with 4 guys all damn night. No linebackers coming. I mean, so what the hell are we thinking? I mean, Jesus.
I guess I hadn't thought that much about it, but you're right. They didn't really give Carson Beck any kind of pressure to speak of.
No. And it was coming out of the 4-man front. They expected the 4 down people to be making getting the rush. And you go back to last year. Hell, we were bringing people from everywhere. I mean, hell, we were bringing people from corner and safety and linebackers. And we didn't. We expected to do it with 4 guys up front. And honestly, we talked about
against an offensive line like that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's weird to me that you didn't kind of bring, because here's the thing: when you've got a guy that he may be new to Miami, but he's not new to big time college football.
Exactly.
You need to bring some heat from different places and see kind of what you can do with the rest of it. Because it seems like, I don't know. My thought would be that you better get after freaking Marcel Reed's ass.
We better come after him.
If he gets going with his legs, he's going to kill you with his arm.
Exactly. So we've got to get after him early and force him to throw the football, but we gotta stop his run game, because that's, if he gets comfortable in the run game, then like you said, his pass game becomes a lot better.
A lot better. It's I kind of think of it the way that I thought about Alabama last season with Jalen Milroe. If he could beat you with his feet, then he was going to fuck you up with his arm, because he could throw the deep ball. He wasn't going to throw that really you've got to be on the money ball that's 12 and a half to like 30 yards, that one that you have to be tight window with that ball. You didn't
Right.
see a ton of that. But what you
No.
would see a bunch of is either him running the ball or throwing it real deep, short or deep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that made him
Yeah.
deadly, and you just didn't really know what was coming. Once you stopped the run game and made him one-dimensional, that'd be another thing, right?
Yeah. Completely different. Exactly. And I agree with you 100% on that as well, Jason. A lot of similarities there in those two quarterbacks, and I think another thing that's a strength for A&M. We've been talking about what they do offensively, but now defensively, they're very aggressive on third down,
And they're gonna
and
come get
and
you, man. They're gonna
they're
come get
going to come get us.
you.
That's
Mhm.
right. So
And that
we've
defensive
got
line is strong, man. That's one of the strengths that they did hold on to
yeah, yeah,
once, what's his name left
and
town, when they
yeah,
finally fired Jimbo. They were able to keep that big ass line that
yeah.
they were, it was the best part of their team before that. But
I
I
agree.
think that
I
it's
agree.
not as deep as it was, but it's still really strong. And it's because Mike Elko and them, they've got it, they do a great job defensively, man.
Absolutely. Elko does a tremendous job. So I,
Home
I
of
you
football,
know,
you might have a pretty good shot though here. UTSA
yeah,
was able to move the ball between the tackles a little bit, especially
yes.
and get some on the perimeter as well.
Hey, they gave up over 200 yards against UTSA.
Mhm. On the ground. You get
Rushing
200
rushing
yards on
yards,
the ground,
rushing
rush
yards.
yards, that
Yeah,
makes it hard to win, coach. And obviously they're gonna overpower a UTSA team in the end with some other
right.
stuff, but that's a recipe for getting your ass kicked anywhere else when you're playing in
Absolutely.
conference or against a real good program.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, if we can rush the ball against them and we change our run game philosophy and get the ball to the running backs and let them do the job. And another thing that had me a little confused too is, and I know CJ scored the touchdown, but down on the goal line, you have these great backs and you're having CJ run the ball in for a touchdown. And it gave me flashbacks of do you think Riley Leonard is back? Just because they both wear the same damn number 13? He's not back. And you're going to get this
That's
kid
probably a
hurt.
good thing for you with the receivers you have too. Run the ball and then throw to these receivers.
Exactly. But he doesn't need to be making those kinds of running plays. I mean, he just doesn't. Because
One
you're
thing if
gonna
you
get
went
that
with Minchie, I
dude
would have
hurt.
understood it if you'd have went with the other kid that's,
Absolutely.
more of a
Yeah.
dual threat. Do
Yeah.
you think
No,
that is there any part of you that feels like maybe he ought to be, if it doesn't look good early on, you maybe go to him?
dadgum, I don't know, Jace. I'm going to tell you, I think CJ Carr is our guy,
Okay.
but we got to protect him.
Yeah.
And we've got to run plays where he's throwing the mid-range ball. And I understand if you're not wanting to throw the ball in the middle of the field, because young quarterbacks in the middle of the field, a lot of times the ball sails on them, they get picked off.
Yeah.
The middle of the field is not a great place to attack. But you can attack the edges, the outside, and vertically, and so that's what we need to be seeing. And he can throw the ball. Throw some out routes. Give him a vertical route here and there.
Yeah.
Uh, and I think he'll be fine. I really do.
Okay.
I truly believe
Well, I mean,
he's.
look, I
Hey,
mean, coming in,
hey, hey.
I was a guy that preferred CJ just because of his ability to spin it.
Right. Well, and here's the thing: if you go back and look at the stats, which it kind of blew my mind, but if you go back and look at Carson Beck's stats and CJ's stats, they were almost identical. Almost, I mean, within yards of each other in their statistics. Except we had that one interception that, by the way, that was CJ's fault. He should have given the ball to the running back. And he even said it. I made a wrong read, and obviously that turned into an interception. but that's the only pick he had. So I do. I think if we protect him, I think he can throw the ball down the field. The touchdown pass that he threw in the corner of the end zone. Hey, he's scrambling for his life, but he stays cool, calm, and collected, and throws the touchdown. So I really do. I think he's the guy. They just got to take care of him and give him some play calls that
Right.
are
That's a
good.
big boy throw, right? I mean, that's one of those throws that you're like, wow. The one that he made in the corner of the end zone there, right?
Right. Trojan, I have to tell you, to answer your question real quick, no, I'm not a fan of a week 2 bye, but I think Touchdown Jesus might have been looking down on us because after the ass whipping we took the other night, we needed to fix a lot of shit. And so the bye I don't think it could come at a better time, which 2 weeks ago I'd have been bitching about, or I was bitching. I was not might have. I was bitching.
Feels early, right? Yeah, because that's
Yeah.
the thing that you might need that time at the end of the year, but you're going to get another one, I know. But
Yeah, we got one more down the road,
right,
but guys, we're under some extreme pressure right now. We've got to win this ball game.
yeah.
Bottom line, we have to win it.
Got it. Right. Real quick, let's say hello to the guys in the chat. Obviously,
Absolutely.
Scott Walker, Rob077, My Gun Sweetness, Daniel Poolaw, Jake S, Sheila Smith, Gil Cruz. What's up there, Gil? Appreciate it. Hankster, Keaton Galactodon, Derek A. Cox, Bob, Scott Walker, Drew, the trash talking weirdo Longhorn, Cherry Bear, Lone Wolf, Bishop Frank, Trojan Fight, Legend, Sooner Legend Podcast, My Gun Sweetness, Goated, TP. Man, we got a lot of folks in here tonight. Logan, Licky,
Watch your feet.
Yeah, our Moosehead. Let's see, make sure didn't miss anybody. Oh, yeah, Stevie G. Make sure everybody hits that freaking like button. Wipe those feet. Make sure that you take care of us. Alan Woody, good to see you, sir. Make sure I didn't miss anybody else. Mars Jams, there's my guy Mars. And
a lot of great people, man.
Sooner Ace, and yes, we need to put out an APB on not that it would matter on my channel, but you would see whenever I pop up with Chris and them, there's been no Bevo's bodyguard lately. I don't know. He just all of a sudden has gone missing throughout. He's just missing. Steve B, what up, dog? Been a while, man. Good to see you. Yeah. Stevie G and Steve B, they're both in the house. So
all right,
man, good to see them both. Yes. All right. Obviously, we're gonna move on and kind of talk about some other stuff. Obviously, Oklahoma had a big week 2 win over the Michigan Wolverines. We're gonna get into that, but real quick before we do, I want you to listen to this deal from Fanatics. Are you tired of your game day gear looking like it's stuck in the offseason? Well, step up your fandom with Hall of Fame College Football's official Fanatics partner store. Whether you're a diehard Oklahoma Sooners fan like myself, bleeding Crimson and Cream, or you rep another one of the SEC's heavy hitters, Fanatics has you covered. Shop thousands of officially licensed hats, jerseys, sideline polos, and exclusive championship merch from the entire Power 4 and Group of 6 too, all shipped directly to your doorstep and fast. Want to gear up like your favorite coaches and players? Are you looking for that perfect tailgate tee or statement piece for your man cave? Fanatics is your one-stop shop for authentic college football gear from everybody that plays the game. So do yourself and your team a favor. Click our link in the description or simply log on to hofmedia.us/fanatics. That's hofmedia.us/fanatics. And you can shop everything that you want for the best prices of the day right on our Fanatics partner page. All right, we're back. Benji, I'm sorry I missed you. Shout out to you as well, there, big dog. It's not October yet, so I can talk to you a little bit. Sooner Texas. Yeah, where is old Carlos? I don't know where he's at either, talking all that shit. He thought, you had quite a few Michigan fans that were hanging around in the comment section the last few weeks, Coach, talking lots of shit about what was going to happen when Big Blue rode into town and just rolled right through the Sooners.
Big Blue fans are nauseating as hell.
They're not quite as bad as some Ohio
Hey,
State.
they are to me. They're nauseating as hell.
They can be, yeah, they can be. You know what? I didn't. Before I get too shitty about Michigan fans, I will say that sitting in the stadium on Saturday night, I was surrounded by a lot of them motherfuckers. They were cool for the most part. Most of them were super cool. Enjoyed their trip to Norman, all that kind of stuff. You know what? People in Norman are different. You know what I mean? They tend to welcome you in and all that kind of stuff and be real cool about most things until it gets, in between the lines and it gets a little crazy. But I thought that it was really cool of them. What we have had is a lot of guys in the comment section, namely a guy named Carlos that I hadn't seen since, talking lots of shit about what they were going to do when they got there, rolling through them. You're not going to be able to do anything with our run game. We're going to run right over you. Hey, even Connor Stallions, who I met at the tailgate the other day, was doing a lot of that shit, picking them to win by 17 on the road. I thought it was a little wild. Oklahoma, to me,
Did he come to steal your signals or what?
he might have. I think he was working on it, man, but nobody was giving him shit. He might have, but I think my expectation was for Oklahoma to win. I've been saying it. I think that when you have a freshman quarterback, even as talented as a kid as what we see from Bryce Underwood, I think that the kid has a serious level of talent. They don't have enough weapons around him to have him be as good as he could be receiver-wise. Justice Haynes is okay, but you're going to have to be able to throw the football, and they weren't able to throw the football against the secondary. And the other thing was, if you're looking at this game and you're brand new to college football, you're not. If somebody asks you after the game, which team do you think traditionally is more of a in the trenches, beat you up team? I don't think anybody would have said Michigan and not Oklahoma, because Oklahoma beat them at their own game on Saturday night, Coach. They beat them at their own game.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts about it overall, looking at it from the outside? You talked to me, right? You called right after the game was over. So
yeah, we've been saying, guys, this whole time how your defense is going to be incredible. And when you have a defense that can play football to that level, you're gonna win a lot of games, and you're gonna be. And even if you're not winning the game, you're gonna be in the game. Uh, y'all physically whip their asses in the trenches. And we've all talked about this before. If you win the trenches, you're going to probably win the game. The odds are very high. I'm more impressed with your D line than I am your O line.
Sure.
At this point. But again, offenses are always behind this early in the season. Okay. And so I think you're going to continue to get better in the O line. I was very impressed with Napier. I think y'all finally have a quarterback that y'all aren't going to bitch about, and you're going to be happy with the outcome that he's gonna give you guys, because I'm telling you, he's a monster. He's good. He's got experience.
Yeah.
I think that's a major piece of this. And so no, I saw nothing but good things. I think that OU is back, and we've been talking about it, Jason. I mean, it's not like, and again, I want to preface this, guys, by reminding, because there's people in here that haven't heard me say this. I am not an OU fan in any shape, form, or fashion. I'm not an OU fan.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this. I believe OU football is on its way back up. It
Yeah.
had a little lull, but I see them. And Jason, you and I talked about this. I could, even before the season started, I saw them as a top ten team.
Yeah.
And they're right there knocking on the door. And I think as we move down the road here, I think you're going to see that they're definitely a top 10 caliber team,
Yeah.
and a playoff caliber football team. And at this point, it's the defense that's making them that. But I think the offense is going to continue to improve and get better.
Well, two things. I say I 100% agree with you that the defense leads this team in every way, shape, or form. And I think they got to lead this team in every way, shape, and form if you're going to get to where you're trying to be. That being said,
Especially in the SEC.
Correct. You must have an offense that can take advantage of good fortune that the defense gives you, turning ball over, shutting them down for, on third downs and stuff like that, being able to do the things that they did against Michigan. They held this quarterback to below 50% completions. They were 3 of 17, I believe, like that, or 3 of 15, something like that on third down. They didn't turn him over. They had a few that they could have turned him over, but in the end, there was nowhere that they were going to go. Now, Oklahoma's offense did have a couple of miscues. You had a miscue on special teams. You did have, stupid penalty like running into roughing the kicker on a 4th and 10 plus on that. I mean, there's just stupid. You can't have that.
It's early game stuff you got to clean up through the season. Everybody is cleaning the stuff up right now.
Sure.
But and guys, we
have those fuck ups. Oklahoma gets beat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Is they were able to kind of go through that stuff and still, honestly, they
still come out on top. Yeah.
They dominated the game. They should have won by a lot. But normally, if you have a couple of turnovers, you lose the turnover battle. You have some stupid penalties at the wrong fucking time, right? Then you're going to get beat. This Brent Venables football team is going to get beat almost every fucking time with like clockwork. So to be able to come back and win anyway is huge to me. That's huge. That's a big step in the right direction.
Oh, when you make mistakes, the ones you're talking about, when you make those kinds of mistakes, but you can overcome them during the ball game, that's important. And Jason, over the past year or two, that hadn't been the case. Y'all made those mistakes, and they just weren't able to overcome a lot of those a lot of times. I tell you another thing, Jason, that I didn't mention. I was also very impressed with your pass defense. I think your pass defense is elite, and I believe that they're elite, but they sure get a whole hell of a lot of help from the defensive front too. And so, no, I think pass defensive wise, I think that y'all are definitely a top 5 secondary in the country.
Yeah, I think that they've definitely shown themselves as an elite defense overall. If you think about that coverage team, I mean, Cortland Guillory's a true freshman, coach, and that kid, he's like glue on these guys, sticky as it gets. Has that dog mentality that he don't mind hitting your ass. A lot of people were kind of putting that off on him. The long touchdown they gave up the first play of the second half. Now, again, in the past, you would have seen Oklahoma kind of go the other way, because where I'm at with it, I would tell you that, yeah, I mean, you don't like it, what you just saw, but aside from that one run, that 75-yard run, they had less than 75 yards on 32 carries aside from that one.
Right.
Sometimes you just said you got to clean some shit up. Venable said that he had the wrong play call on there. And then you had a true freshman in the corner. They kind of sucked him in with the way that they like to bring in those extra linemen and stuff and get real tight. It sucked in that guy, and he didn't hear the call that Peyton was trying to tell him to back on out of there. There was definitely miscommunication there, and they gave up the score. These are things you can fix. What you can't really fix is when you're getting beat up and you're just, you're there, but you're not able to make the play. So I loved seeing the fact that, the defensive line ate all fucking night.
Yep.
I mean,
no doubt.
David Stone, Jaden Jackson, Dominic Williams, G-Baby looked really good. Hell, Marcus Strong looked really good. And you have a rotation of unbelievable depth pieces on that interior, that D-line, that really nobody else has. There's a couple in the country that are somewhere in that neighborhood. I would say that Notre Dame, I believe, they're going to figure that out in the trenches, but we would have figured that if anybody was close, it's them right now. I don't know that it is right at the moment. But I do believe that I think Notre Dame is the type of football team that they were one of my picks to win the Natty this year. So I believe in what they're doing there. Yeah. They're a little young. I think that there's some work to do. And I think it was probably worked out pretty well, as you said, to get that bye this past week and before you play a team that's going to try to bring it to you in the trenches in A&M. But Oklahoma overall, I think, and just looking at, Coach, you took over a lot of teams that had struggled, had been poor, at everything whenever you got there. They're not good. They're not a winning program, whatever you might call it. And you turn them into teams that were very, very good at the high school level. What does it mean? And this is where I kind of wanted to head. What is it? You got to have that one game where you're doing well. That's fine. But then you have some adversity, and instead of crumbling, because you're used to crumbling, you hold on and find a way. What does that do moving forward? It gives you that confidence moving forward, right? Because usually if you're not a team that's used to being very good, and I think that we've seen Oklahoma not have the type of belief in itself that it did in the past over the last 3 years or so. I think that this was big towards that. I think that you have to go through some adversity and get through it and win in order to be able to do it on a regular basis.
And Jason, you're 1,000% correct. It's always easy when things are going good.
Yep.
But when you have adversity in a ball game, how do your players respond to adversity? And you were just talking about this. If your past culture, your past mentality was one that it was, oh shit, here we go again. They play that way. But if you can turn that mentality, turn that culture to, oh crap, this went wrong, but we've got to go up another notch. We got to step it up to a different level and overcome that adversity. Once that happens, once they start learning to do that, you're going to win a lot of ball games, and they're going to have confidence because that oh shit mentality leaves. It's gone. And if you've got that mentality of we got to step it up, then they do. And no, you're 100% correct. It's about changing the mindset.
Which is the hardest part of it, right? And OU was a soft team headed under Lincoln Riley at the end. They were soft, man. It was all about
very soft
and throwing touchdown passes, and then just the defense was small. It was unphysical. This is a different program, but until you have success doing it a new way, it's hard to believe that you're going to have success doing it a new way.
Yeah, exactly. I do have a question for you.
Go ahead.
I want your thoughts, and everybody else is on here, but I want your thoughts on your running back room right now.
I think it's in flux a little bit. Now we're gonna have I'm gonna have we're gonna have some different guests here coming up, but one of them being Torrey Blaylock's dad, Derek, who played in the NFL. And Torrey, of course, has been great these first couple of weeks running the football as a true freshman, but overall, yeah, they didn't do very well. And I see Benji in here. Napier can't keep running the way he does. The back half of the season, he's going to get beat up. There's two sides to that coin, and I know where everybody's headed with this. Do I want to see the running back room get better? I do. I think that the first 2 weeks of the season, and Coach, that when it comes to Bill Bedenbaugh, he's been one of those guys that it usually takes 3 or 4 weeks before his rotation's very good. Number one, as far as that goes, he doesn't have his team set, right? I heard Teddy and Gabe talking yesterday about we've got our 5 now. Okay. Hopefully that you got to keep those guys healthy. But the truth be told, you again, just kind of like what we were just talking about in, winning games ugly, and being able to hold on when something bad goes against you, something like that. I think as well as that the offensive line had a really tough year last year. I think it was better at the end of the year than most people give them credit for, but they came in, they didn't have a ton of push in week 1. I also think that has a lot to do with the opponent. It just kind of is what it is whenever you go up against FCS opponents. But assignments can be a little off early, especially in the protections. Mm-hmm. They're not communicating as well as they should be. As well as anybody about that kind of stuff, Coach. And
absolutely.
When you have a defensive line, number one, like Michigan, I'm going to tell you, nobody's going to run the ball that well against Michigan in the middle. They're just not. So in this situation, do you worry about Napier? Yeah, a little bit. But this is what makes John Napier is that he will get out there and run against your ass, and he's a gamer. He's a gamer quarterback. He can throw it well. He does all that stuff really well. And yes, you want your running back room to do much better than what you've seen. But I'm going to tell you, we look up in the fourth quarter, there's 10 minutes left, and the guy sitting in front of me, whose son plays for the Oklahoma baseball team, says they got to take some time off this damn clock. And I was like, yes, they do. Yes, they do. Whatever happens on this drive, you need to get some points, but first and foremost, take 3 or 4 minutes off the clock. They double that up. They take 8 minutes and 27 seconds off of that last scoring drive, and they only threw the ball 3 times, Coach, in 16 plays.
Yeah.
So while a lot of it was Napier, a lot of it was you had Javonte Barnes go out there and have a couple of huge runs for first downs. He had a 16-yard pass play as well for a first down. But look, to be able to go down and force your wheel all the way down the field for 8.5 minutes of a game that you need to salt away, that's new for OU right there.
Yeah, I agree. And, and I'm going to tell you, I mean, you guys can give me all the bullshit about, he doesn't need to be running the ball. It's going to get hurt. Hey, look, let me tell you one fucking thing. He can get hurt dropping back to pass, just like he can running the fucking ball. So I don't want to hear that bullshit. Come on, guys. It's fucking football. Come on. Shit. Good grief.
Coach in rare form.
Throw your head out of your ass. Asking stupid fucking questions like, did he get hurt running the ball? Yeah, he can get hurt fucking walking from the dorm room to the field house.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
You better hit that fucking like button or I'm going to sick him on you for that shit. Get into there, hit the like button. Hey, Coach, you're right. Here's the thing. Players are players. You don't get a guy like John Napier. Watch what he did last year as a player at Washington State, leading the country in touchdowns, 44 touchdowns overall. 15 of those came on the ground. You're going to go in there and expect for him you want to take all those away and then think that it's going to be the same football player? I don't think so. Now, I think that the games dictate how much you're going to see, how much he runs. In a big game situation, I don't give a shit how much he runs. Let him go. Let him go. You have to let him do his thing. Now, I 100% would tell you that I think this offensive line is going to get better, and I think this running back room showed a little something last weekend. Look, I don't see a ton of teams lining up and going and handing the ball off to running backs that are going to get a whole lot better production out of their running back room than what Oklahoma got. I don't. And I don't give a shit what it takes to win. If you get your rushing numbers that you need to be successful from your quarterback, then so be it. Win the fucking football game first. Win the football game first. And if John Napier was the type of dude that's afraid to fucking get hit, then he wouldn't be the kind of football player that's going to lead this football team to anywhere. He wouldn't be.
And Coach, I'm going to tell you something. I've got a perfect example about getting a quarterback hurt running the ball. We ran the shit out of Riley Leonard last year. I mean, hey, it didn't hurt him. So yeah,
man. Look, Cam Newton ran his ass off to a Heisman fucking trophy up one year. You know, Vince Young ran his ass off to immortality at Texas in a national championship a long time ago. He wasn't the best passer in the world. It happens. Look, this guy is going to go. What I notice out of him is that he's going to take what the defense gives him. And he didn't put himself in a position to get hit too much. He got down when he needed to get down. You know, he ran out of bounds. He threw the ball out of bounds a few times to not get a sack. He did the smart stuff to not get himself killed.
Why are you going to take one of his strengths away?
I would never do it. I'm 100% in agreement with you. Fans, it's okay for fans, and I understand fans that you know, you look at this and you look at the production that we've gotten out of our quarterback position. Last year was aside from when Hawkins was in, you know, in the Tennessee game and then later in that Auburn game, you didn't get a bunch of production out of the quarterback. So I understand this thought of, man, this guy's too good to get hurt. Well, guess what? This guy is the only way he's gonna be this good is for you to let him be who he is. And Ben Arbuckle had an amazing game plan against Michigan the other day. That's an NFL coordinator in Wink Martindale that didn't know what the fuck was coming at him next. He didn't know what was coming at him next. Ben Arbuckle, hey, shout out to him. And I'll tell you this, I've been critical of him for some of the way that he's done things, you know, in recruiting and everything else, which, you know, that is what it is. But I've been critical of, hey, listen, you know, for all this bullshit we're hearing, you better be as good as you act like you are. And everybody's saying you are. And hey, listen, to this point, I think it's as good a situation as we could have possibly had coming into this season to bring in a guy like Arbuckle and a player like Napier who are familiar with each. I mean, it's been the same system. This is year 3. This is the kind of the turnaround that could be right here. If college football playoff, everything is on the table for Oklahoma, because not only do you have the defense that you have, which is elite again, but now you have an elite level offensive quarterback, play caller, and weapons that can be utilized to the extent of taking you as far as you want to go. I truly believe that.
Two things, Jason. If you remember back when y'all were looking for the OC, and I knew Arbuckle's name was in the mix, and you'll remember this, I told you, that's y'all's guy. And there was still a lot of talk by other people. Well, I'm not sure. I think this one could be better. That one could. And I told you, Arbuckle's your guy. He can win at OU. And I want y'all to also understand.
I formation the other night, Coach. The I formation.
Yeah. I will also tell you this. If Arbuckle's not there, neither is Napier.
Of course not.
So I'm telling you, and he's your guy. I'm just telling you guys.
Yeah. Look, like I said, he lined up in the damn I formation. Sam Ehlinger. We're talking about Sam Ehlinger, Benji. Are you fucking kidding me?
Hey, Jason, you know Arbuckle coached right down the road here at Seminole High School.
I didn't know that.
Yes, sir. He coached right down the road at Seminole High School.
They've been known to put some points on the board.
Yeah, but he ascended rapidly.
Yeah. Sam was one of the most underrated quarterbacks at Texas. Okay, well, enjoy that. His underrated ass wasn't good enough, buddy boy. A lot of fucking 8 and 5s and shit in his time there. Look, all I'm going to say is that, and I don't want to get off on that tangent too far. I think that they have the guy they're supposed to have. I think they're going to be better on offense. You asked the question, am I worried about the running back room? There's too much talent for you to worry about it too much. I think that the offensive line is coming together. I think you saw a true freshman left tackle in Michael Fasusi dominate a senior who's an NFL guy on Saturday night and look really, really good. The future, I believe, is bright. Moving through, I don't know how many run defenses you're going to go up against that are as good as Michigan throughout the year, but I think they get better as the year goes along, Coach. I do.
And let me clarify something. I did not say, I asked the question, what were your thoughts? I wasn't knocking. I said
I'm answering your question of what I feel about it. That's what I was at. That's where I'm at.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no, and I know. Listen, and I think it's fair to ask the question too, by the way. I think it's fair to ask any question when it comes to what are you seeing. I think that overall, you have to look at a couple of things over the first few weeks and say, okay, yeah, they weren't great in week 1 against Illinois State. If you go back and look at the film, you notice that, first off, a new guy like Jaron Canick, who's playing tight end, coming over from being a linebacker, which what a revelation that guy's been. But whenever, blocking assignments where you have an option, depending on what the lineman does, whether you got to kick out the block or you got to squeeze it, he made the wrong decision a couple of times. He's brand new at the position, right? That could have sprung a couple of plays that I know about. The other part was that you had some guys in that probably weren't going to be playing that position very much. You had another freshman at guard on the right side that really wasn't ready for what he was going to go up against just yet. He didn't look as good. The guys that they had in the other night held up. They held up. Their yards per rush average a little better. It was over 3 this week. You had Torrey Blaylock was over 4 yards a carry. Even, the guy that everybody's been on, Javante Barnes, he's 8 rushes for 3 rushes for 24 yards. But he also had a big 16-yard reception, and he made a couple of key blocks in the backfield that sprung Napier as well and allowed him to make a big play, either throwing it or running it. There was a couple of shots that he was about to take if it wasn't for Javante. So you got to give love to him on that. Again, I'm gonna go back to what I've been saying, what I said last week. No football team peaks or is as good as they're going to be and is worth the shit at the end if they're as good as they're going to be in week 2 or week 1. You can't, if you expect them to be a finished product right away, then it's too much to ask. And if they are a finished product in week 2, you can bet your ass that week 7 and 8, they're not going to be good enough. Because other teams are going to be improving in areas in which they're deficient. I've heard, Coach, you've talked about this a ton, especially with teams that you're trying to build into what they ultimately will be. You have to go and get those little victories week to week in certain areas and build that confidence. Do you not?
They're critical. They're critical. I mean, you got and this is the terminology I always used with our players was it's the little things that make the big things happen. Because when you stack a little one here and you stack a little one here and another one, and another one, now you've gone from that one little thing. Now you've stacked them all, and it's a big thing. So yes, it's crucial to win those small incremental battles and wars. So
Right.
yes,
You got to get better
Hey.
from week to week everywhere, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I always talk about, you know what, and I'm coaching my little grandson's team, but I talk to them every time we come to practice, guys. We got to get 1% better. 1%. That's it. 1% better, and that's what you do throughout the season. Sometimes you get 1% better, but next time you may get 10% better. But that's what your goal is to continue to improve from week to week.
Right.
And Jason, let me revert back to a question that I have, because I want to see your perspective, and you other guys jump in here too. But after you watch the Miami Notre Dame game, how good do you think Miami is?
I think
Be honest.
I think they're pretty good. I think offensive line wise, they're as good as you're going to see in the ACC. I think Clemson, as good as we've been thinking that they are in the ACC, I don't think their offensive line has shown a whole lot in the first couple of weeks. I mean, LSU beat them and kind of beat them up, and they were getting to Klubnik pretty easy, quite honestly. Now, do I think that Matt Luke, being the coach that he is, turns that offensive line around a little bit at Clemson? Sure, I do. But that being said, Miami's offensive line has been dominant, and to be able to do what they did against Notre Dame's D line, which has been probably the best part of that team, aside from the running game and the offensive line, I think the trenches has been what has led Notre Dame back into prominence, where you feel like they can be a national championship contender, right? The fact that they were able to kind of neutralize that defensive line should probably be a little bit concerning for Notre Dame, right?
It's very concerning. And that's where I was concerned. I was concerned there at the beginning of the season.
Mhm.
And then Marcus assured us, Coach Freeman assured us that, oh man, they've looked good in the fall.
Right.
And then they shut down their leg in the Miami game. So
Again, I
I'm
think that's as good of an offensive line as you're probably going to see too.
yeah, maybe.
You know what I mean? Maybe there may be some other teams that are pretty damn good. I'm not saying you're not going to see anybody that's good, but I said I have a hard time believing that of everything that Mario Cristobal does, and as a game day coach, I think he's trash. I think he tried to blow that game against you guys. You know what I mean?
Almost did. Yeah.
He did everything but fuck it off.
Yeah, I agree.
That being said, if you expect anything from a Cristobal team to be very, very good, it's going to be the offensive line. Okay. Again, I don't know. I think that I want to see better from your D line. I like to see a little better from your O line, but I really think that if you just get the right game plan going, you're probably going to see it go back to. I don't understand how you would take a strength and not just. I mean, I get it. You guys, everybody in Notre Dame has been screaming for a better passing game for 3 years. You know what I mean? And I think that you have the ability to have that at this point. You have the quarterback. You've got some real receivers that can get some separation. So you want to see that. I don't think that you can get better in the passing game at the expense of not running the best running back in college football.
I agree.
That's my feeling about it. Do I think Miami overall is great? No. I mean, it's Miami. I think that they'll blow it at some point. Do I think that they should make the college football playoff? I do. I do think they should make the college.
They are talented. I mean, they are talented across the board. They're as talented as anybody in the country, I believe.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. I think that, they've got, and look, the one thing I think that was really, it's a lot better than it has been, and that what most people expected it to be. Look, when you've got a guy like Bain, and that defense looks a lot better than it did. They were awful last year, awful on defense.
Now, what's the guy from Minnesota that came in there? He's doing a good job.
Yeah. Oh shit, I forget his name now. That if you hadn't asked me, I'd have it. But anyway, they looked night and day different, though.
I agree.
On defense, right?
I agree.
So I think that can they contend? Yes, I think Miami should contend. And Shawty was saying, a week ago or a couple weeks ago that he felt like you had probably the best Miami team, that they were probably the best team in the ACC as far as he was concerned. Right. I know a lot of us have been saying Clemson, but I think we're hearing and seeing more of that around the country where people are giving them a lot more love. And Carson Beck gives them a quarterback that I don't think he's as good as Cam Ward was, but I don't think he has to be. Right? I don't think he has to be either.
And I got to tell you, people can say what they want to say, but I was not superly impressed with Carson Beck. Did he make some plays? Yes, he made some plays.
Sure,
but at the end of the day, he didn't do anything.
Is what he didn't do. I think
that's what he didn't do exactly.
Right.
But he did it with no fucking pressure. We didn't pressure him at all. We had one sack, and we only pressured with the 4-man front. So yeah, I think if you bring pressure, I think you see a whole different Carson Beck.
Yeah. Listen, you may be right. You may be right about that. I think after having a guy like Cam Ward, though, he's probably pretty good. I mean, I'll tell you what, I was just watching Shotty and Coach I and those guys on Respect the Hedges before we came in. And I think they'd love to have Carson Beck back right now. I think
sure they
love to have Carson Beck back right now. Because
Yeah.
what they're seeing from their quarterback that, first-year starter is not exactly what it sounded like that made them real excited about the game coming up against Tennessee and next week against Alabama, who, by the way, obviously
that'll be an easy game.
Be an easy game?
Yeah.
It might be. Now, they obviously bounced back against a no team in ULM, but as I told those guys on Brinsky's show yesterday, I'll change my opinion about them when I see them do it against somebody with a pulse, because that what we saw from Alabama against Florida State was loafing, softness personified. It was not good for those guys. So I may be way the hell off on what I expected on Alabama this year, and you may be right on the money. So here we go. You know what I mean? I see we're seeing a lot of talk about Arch Manning and Texas in the chat here. And so let's talk about it a little bit. Obviously, this past week, you've had a couple of things. I don't know. I mean, Sark just doesn't watch anything, I guess. But look, Arch Manning was visibly hurting while throwing deep balls in the game against San Jose State. A game, by the way, which they won 38-17. And I mean, some of the guys that I respect out of Texas, guys like Steven at Fanatic Perspective, who usually tells it like it is. He was telling everybody how not good a football team San Jose State is. And you only win by 21. First and foremost, I think that what we've been saying about Texas being overrated and overinflated has been dead on in the first 2 weeks. But if you didn't see the look on Arch's face multiple times throwing the ball down the field this week, then I tend to ask whether or not Sark is watching fucking film.
Sark doesn't need to watch film, Jason. He's an incredible play caller, and so why watch film? I mean, hell, get down on the 1 yard line and run the sweep, do crazy shit. He's talked about how an incredible play caller he is, and I'm telling you, he's good, but don't get him near the fucking goal line because he doesn't have answers down in the red zone.
Mm-hmm. there was Benji, you can sit there and lie all you want to. You know damn good and well that it was multiple plays that they showed him cringing throwing that fucking ball. Now, I'm not saying that he's broken or anything like that. I'm telling you, he certainly has not been the best quarterback in the country like everybody came in saying that he was going to be. And
Mr. Heisman.
A 21-point win over San Jose State at home is not exactly what I would give reason to freaking be excited about those son of bitches.
Mr. Heisman.
Yeah, Mr. Heisman.
Leading candidate.
Right.
Bullshit.
Yeah, look, Arch isn't looking good, and that's the truth. Look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I think Arch Manning's a bum. I'm not going to do it.
He's not.
He comes from his pedigree is without question, right? No doubt about it. But let me just say one more time, if he was as good as everybody's acting like he was preseason, then we wouldn't be having this conversation. And we wouldn't have been having the conversation about why in the fuck he wasn't the starter over a 7th round draft pick last season. Because it's clear that he's not exactly what everybody wants to act like he is. Not to mention the fact that offensive line, we were talking about offensive lines, that offensive line doesn't look very good either. Just saying. I believe that it's...
The brand has finally returned. Fuck your brand.
Hey, I'm telling you right now, OU is going to kick Texas's ass. I'm telling you right now.
Because that's what they are, trash.
I'm with you, man. I've been saying
it's coming. It's coming.
Yep. Bevo and Arch's Heisman chances are hanging out and have disappeared. Yep. They gone. October 11th can't get here fast enough. I know that. Can't get here fast enough. Let's talk about another.
Hey, I got one for you, Jason.
Come on.
How about South Florida?
That's where I was headed. Yeah, listen, Billy. Did Billy just lose his job to the eventual coach of Florida?
Possibly.
Did he just hand over the reins to Alex Golesh?
Here you go.
Hey, Alex Golesh has been really good. 2 years in a row, he took Alabama to the wall both years, on the road and at home. Did everything but beat them. And then this year, you let them hang around. Listen, I think I understood, and I've said I like their defense. Hell, they only gave up 18 points this weekend. You know what I mean? I still like their defense. I think that DJ Lagway, as good as he is, there's no substitute for practice time and health during the off season. He's been on a boot the entire offseason. They said he had to get that hernia surgery. There was talk about shoulder issues. He hadn't been available very much to practice. No development. And expecting him, now looking back on it, the expectations might have been a little high in Gainesville. Does he keep is there any way that Billy keeps his job? No, that's it.
Not when he was supposed to be as good as people were thinking they were going to be. I mean, they've been shit, and then they kind of came along at the end of the year last year a little bit, but now this loss to South Florida, you're back to the shit side of the equation. And how many of those losses can you take? Because we already were talking about Billy being on the hot seat. We thought he got himself out of the hot seat, and he was
looked
supposed
really
to
good
have
at
a
the
great
end of the year.
year.
They won like 5 out of 6 to close.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. And so we thought he'd taken himself out of the hot seat. But
Yeah.
this one puts him right back in the hot seat, and it's way fucking hotter than it was before.
Their next 2 games are against LSU on the road and Miami, both on the road. You know? Hell, they could be
2
ready
L's.
to send his ass down the river in 2 weeks from now.
Correct.
Which I don't know what the hell they do after that. Here's the question I have about it, and this is kind of they brought
Billy G.
Billy
G.
Billy Gonzalez. That would be funny. That would be great stuff. But Billy's a good guy, man. Billy Gonzalez is a good dude. I like that dude.
Yeah.
Here's what the question that I have now. I think they're in deep shit, right? I think everybody knows they're in deep shit. If they don't find a way to win this weekend, right? Well, they got two coming up. I don't know if there's a bye in between there or what, but they've got 2 games, LSU and Miami coming up, right? The question I guess I have is, if you're DJ Lagway, do you jump in the portal, red shirt, and get the fuck out of there? I mean, he's not healthy. I think it's clear he's not healthy. And with the slate that they have to close out the year, Coach, if anybody's got a tougher schedule than Oklahoma, it's Florida.
Yeah, I agree.
So the slate that they have to close out the year, Florida State now looks a hell of a lot better than we expected them to be coming into the season. That's their end of the year game. There's no way I see Billy getting to that game.
And that's why you can't lose, because of your schedule. That's why you can't lose to South Florida.
Exactly. And so going into you're starting right now, looking ahead.
So
if you're DJ Lagway, is it not behoove you to get the fuck out of there?
I would think so. So they've got LSU. Okay, so LSU, Miami, like you said, Texas. They got Texas. They got Texas A&M, Mississippi State, Georgia, Kentucky, Ole Miss
yesterday in beating Arizona State, Mississippi State.
Yep.
Shout out to Jeff Lebby.
So their schedule is brutal. Their schedule is brutal, but that exactly the point, though. That's why you cannot lose a game like that.
Right. And that's why somebody asked it at the very end, though. I think it was John. Jonathan Lewis said, what do you do if you're DJ Lagway? Well, I don't think he's healthy. I don't think he's been healthy at all. A week before week 1, he was in a boot still. He doesn't look like he's comfortable. I mean, they were moving the ball against USF last week, but they weren't punching it in. And a lot of it looked like coaching ineptitude to me. Billy's not willing to get rid of the play calling, any of that other kind of shit. If I'm Lagway, I have to make that. I think that's a decision that you may not want him to have to make it, but I think he better be thinking about it. Him and his team have got to be thinking about whether or not he belongs there, because you don't know what's going to happen from here on out. You can't just trust anything that's going on at Florida, because why would you? And if Billy's not going to be around, and you know he's not going to be around, why would you waste a year of eligibility on this shit? Get the hell out. That's my I mean, I don't know. You guys tell me what you think in the chat, because I'm telling you, I'm probably out of there if I'm DJ.
Yeah, I'm with you. All you can see from me is asshole and elbows.
Yeah, listen. I think if you go ahead and leave now, you can take the season to not have to try to get in there and get some practice in and all this other shit. Get yourself healthy. It doesn't sound like he's been healthy not a single day that he's been there, including from coming from high school. You know what I mean? Not a single day. So to me, take this time, get yourself together, the portal will be all over. I mean, he could break the fucking internet on the money he's going to get from somewhere. You know, somebody just said USC. Sure, I could see if Lincoln hangs around, if he's able to still be there, I could see him ending up there. Hell, I could see Notre Dame being in the running for him. Somebody like Ohio State being in the running for him. There's a lot of you could probably count easier the number of programs that wouldn't want to take a run at DJ Lagway. You know what I mean? I mean, that's what I would do.
Alabama might be in that group.
Alabama would be in that group. I mean, to some extent, you'd have to expect that if Natier's leaving, Oklahoma could be in that group.
Could Georgia be in that group too?
Shit, yes, Georgia would be in that group. They don't have a quarterback right now. They are not in love with Gunnar Stockton.
I'm in love with Gunnar Stockton.
I bet you are. Who else is Florida have at quarterback? They don't. But that's the point, is that their entire season has been predicated on DJ Lagway being Superman, and he's not healthy. He hasn't had time to develop in the offseason whatsoever. Hell, he can't even work out. Miami would be a good fit for him. Passport. Well done, sir. Well done.
Pretty true.
That again, you could probably. I didn't say that I would want him over Hawkins. I'm telling you that there is no way, if you're Jim Nagy or any other GM around the country, that you don't kick the tires on DJ Lagway if he goes into the fucking portal.
Well, Jason, here's the people that they have in the quarterback room. Obviously, DJ Lagway. They have Harrison Bailey, a redshirt senior, and he's been at Tennessee. He's been at UNLV, at Louisville. Then they have another redshirt senior, Clay Millen. He transferred from Colorado State. Then they have Aiden Warner, a redshirt sophomore, and Trammell Jones, a freshman. So they don't have much in there right now. So I think it's very possible.
I'm aware. I mean, that's what I'm saying. They don't have anything to back him up. But short of, what are you going to do about that? I mean, if you know for sure that, yeah, maybe their Trojan Fight says we might see them keep him just to keep Lagway from leaving, I'd argue that's why he's still there now. Well, do you don't think that Lagway's team is looking at this going, there's no fucking way he survives this, whether he makes it through the season or not? We got to get out of here. I mean, you've got representation at this point in college football. It's not just the player has to make that decision with his folks. And DJ Lagway's parents aren't they didn't just fall off the turnip truck. Anyway. You know, what's up there, corrections? Yeah, at TTU, hey, Tankster's got it right on the money. Texas Tech give him $10 million plus, guaranteed. Without a doubt, they would. Now I don't know that it would help, but
it ain't gonna help.
No, I know everybody's all pissed off about the short I put up yesterday. That we were talking shit about him a little bit, saying what we say. I think he's got to go. I think he's got to go. And if you're going to go, you can't wait until after you've played 5 games. You have to do it within the first 4. So if they lose these next 2 games, which I'd have a hard time picking them to win either, LSU or Miami, I think he's out of here. I think he's out of here. I don't think that there's any. I don't think there's any doubt about it. And nobody can blame him either, because it's a shit show. It's a shit show. And man, shout out to the high top guys. They've got their hands full for the rest of the year. Their audience is something else. They've got their hands full. So shout out to them. In their defense, they took it right to Billy over the weekend as well. So and they've been on his side. They've been on his side, man. So
Well, and I'm gonna, I know those are good guys and all, but I heard a lot of their shit preseason about how friggin' good Florida was going to be and how competitive they were going to be, and they're shitting all over themselves. So your evaluation wasn't very good. But you know what? You can say the same thing about me and Notre Dame. So
well,
it's all good.
I think it was all dependent on is he healthy or not. You know what I mean? I think it was all dependent on whether or not DJ Lagway was healthy or not. Because again, their offense looks pretty good. They've got I like Baugh, the running back looks really good. Their offensive line isn't terrible. Their defense is legit. But I think that what you see is a lot of dumb shit that goes on with this football team. A lot of stupid plays, a lot of bad play calling on the part of Billy. It looks like he's lost at times out there. It's just like, of what are we going to do now? They've been calling for him to give up play calling for 2 years. He has no thought of even doing so. And yet he still looks lost most of the time. He looked lost in the press conference yesterday.
Hey, I'm one of the biggest coaching supporters. I always defend coaches because I've lived it. I know what it's like. I know how attacks can be on you and your families, and I know how all that goes. But I'm going to tell you, it's time for Billy to move on.
Right.
Plain and simple. It's time.
Look, and Benji, you can talk about what you're saying, and DJ makes bad plays too. What did I just say? I said that how could you expect him to be better when he hasn't been healthy enough to even practice? He hasn't even had the amount of time that your boy Arch has had to get better as a football player through the offseason. He's been hurt the entire time. Sure, he made some bad plays. That's dumb as hell. That's dumb as hell. But the bottom line is, if they lose the next 2 games and you don't fucking leave if you're DJ Lagway, I think it's insanity. Now, you could decide to come back from the portal if they get Lane, which ain't happening, by the way. But you still should be in the portal up until then getting healthy, because the rest of your career may depend on it. The rest of your career may depend on it. Come on, man. I would not want him at Texas. I'll just tell you that. I would not want him at Texas. As an Oklahoma guy, I would not want him at Texas. DJ Lagway is the real deal. He's the real deal. It's a bad situation.
Hey, Jason, how many likes we got?
Let's check and see.
Anybody wiped their feet?
Everybody wipe them damn things. We've got over 100 people in here at the moment, and 57
12 likes.
Not better.
Oh, wow.
57 likes. We got 100 in here. It's half. The other half could get to work.
Nice.
Get to work. No, good stuff, man. I appreciate that though. That's a lot of likes. Good stuff. All right.
That's what I love about you, Benji. You are definitely a dreamer.
A dreamer.
I love it.
To the CFP.
I love it.
Listen, to go back, and that's where this started and it turned into Florida, but let's go back to Texas. Look, if you think Texas is in the greatest shape as what the one thing that Steven said on Fanatic Perspective a week ago, he was doing it for whatever site that they're on. Oh, Bleacher Report. He was saying that he thought that they dropped a little far after losing on the road to Ohio State. I would ask him I would ask him that question if he still believes that now. Because if you think that they're a top 10 team in the country, I think you're smoking crack right now. Because I don't see it. I don't see it. 21 points over San Jose State at home doesn't inspire a ton of confidence if it's me. You know, just saying. Benji.
If you take your top lip and connect it to your bottom lip, you will shut the fuck up.
Billy takes the Oklahoma State job. That's another one we've got to talk about.
Oh, geez.
Coach.
That's just what we've been talking about we've been talking about this one for years.
Mm-hmm. Smoke and mirrors, bullshit, and copious amounts of bullshit ever since the year that you and I were at Big 12 Media Days asking him questions. It's all about excuses and bullshit with this guy. And all week he had his fan base, including Cody Light, wound up about the difference in money at Oregon and fucking Oklahoma State. Now, mind you, he wasn't talking about the difference in fucking NIL money whenever they played Middle Tennessee the week before. But he wants to blame everything on the lack of funds that they have at Oklahoma State, when I would tell you that we know better than that. They got a $250 million check a year ago for NIL things, stuff within the athletic department as well. And they've been shitting away everything they've had on the fucking field since then. They got that $250 million check the week that they beat Arkansas, and I don't think they won another game after that. Maybe one more game after that.
He needs to be a damn magician. That's what he needs to do, because I tell you what,
used to get people kicked out of you last week, and I don't know what you're thinking.
I'm telling you, Jason, he should be a magician, because he can sit right in front of people and they buy his shit. Even when they see it all right there in front of them, they still buy into his bullshit. I don't have anything else to say other than
63.
They suck, and they sucked before, and they suck still. So they ain't getting any better.
63-3, man. The game was over in the first 4 minutes. And even if look, I got to give Okie like Cody props. He's not coming all the way out and saying it, but he's hinting at it that what else can you do? What else is left?
You know what? Don't just hint it. Go ahead and fucking say it.
Well, and I haven't watched what he said today. I know that there's something about the possible next coach, which I think if it's who he was saying, I saw the thumbnail. I don't know. I want to watch it first, and then I'll say whatever. Zach Robinson. Yes.
I got you.
If it's Zach Robinson, then they're idiots at Oklahoma State too, because there's a lot of coaches out there that would love that fucking job at Oklahoma State, i.e. Jeff Traylor at UTSA. If you're not, you just went to Oregon. If you're not trying to get Will Stein to take that job, you're fucking retarded. I'm just saying, there's lots of coaches that would love to have the facilities that they have at Oklahoma State, which are second to none. And I mean none. Even including Oregon, including Notre Dame, including all the big programs in the country that have fantastic facilities. Oklahoma State is second to nobody when it comes to that shit because of T-Boone Pickens. We all know that. The excuses are ridiculous to me when it comes from guys. It's the same that I feel about BK and his excuses being at LSU and before that Notre Dame, and then like Lincoln Riley with the excuses that he has being at USC. Matt Rule making excuses when you're at Nebraska, who wants for nothing at Nebraska. They've got money. They will spend it on football. The idea that you would try to sit there and act like you don't have the ability to win is fucking out of control. It's out of control. I don't care about Robinson. I think I understand that that's what they're talking about. I get it. I don't think he's a college football guy. First off, maybe he is. I don't know. I don't know. I think you got GJ Kinney is out there. I would look at Will Stein. I would look at Jeff Traylor. How in the fuck is Jeff Traylor not a Power 4 head coach? He's done fantastic things at a program that wasn't even a program 20 years ago. You know what I mean? He's doing a hell for those that love to do the whole more with less thing about Okie Light. He's the perfect guy for your more with less shit. And he would not lose 63-3 to fucking Oregon. Now he may not beat them, but he wouldn't lose 63-3.
He would be competitive.
He would be competitive.
Let's move on from that shit, though.
Yeah, listen,
that's almost a waste. That's almost a waste of our time talking about it.
While it's just, I knew you had to say something about it, though. Come on, man. How about you think what kind of fucking show host would I be if I didn't pitch that one at you? If I didn't throw that softball to you, what the fuck?
Hey, you know what I think about Gundy.
It's the same.
I don't give a shit about Mike Gundy.
Yeah. I feel bad for our boy Okie Light Cody. I do feel that bad. I feel bad about it. But
I love him. But I don't feel bad for him. I do. I love Cody, but I don't feel bad for him because he's bought all that bullshit for a long time too. So you bought it, carry it.
Billy, they just gave the school, he's been dead for 4 years. They just paid the school $250 million for the athletic department. And he's not the only dude that graduated from Oklahoma State that has money either. Now, it very well could be that those people, the money is drying up because they don't believe in Mike Gundy. If you're a booster, would you fucking put money into this shit show? I wouldn't. Coach, would you? If you're a multi-billionaire and Mike Gundy comes to you for money, would you fucking open your pocketbook for him? Fuck no. No, get out. Yeah. And they've made that more than clear to the powers that be at OSU. Get rid of him. Fine. When your coach is calling your fan base broke asses because you're losing, it's over, man. It's been over.
I tell you what, whatever his payout is, I don't know what it is, but whatever his buyout is, I'll tell you this: he owes them that money. He ought to be paying the OSU what they owe him because he's done a shitty damn job.
Oh,
he owes them money.
Yeah, he's stealing money, man. He's stealing money without a doubt. Without a doubt, he's stealing money. Okay, we'll get into this last little bit of stuff here, and then we can kind of open up for questions or something, or Coach, we can jump into whatever. But Deion Sanders pretty pissed off this week about a report from the media saying that Ryan Staub is going to start this week's game rather than Caden Salter or the freshman Julian Lewis. Staub was 7 of 10 for 157 and 2 touchdowns this past week in limited time. Salter was 13 to 16. They didn't play anybody. Who gives a shit? But Coach Prime, a little pissy about it, saying, I'm not confirming none. None of y'all know that. We ain't like that. We good. We have capable guys, and there's no subjection to you when you're wrong. Nobody says nothing. You just go with it. I'm not saying that's the case, but that's where we are in the media. Nobody gives a darn about being correct, being right. Everybody just wants to be first. That doesn't make sense to me. I would love the integrity that we once had with the media. Oh, that's funny. I would love that. Let's go. Does it feel like things may be getting a little untenable at CU to you?
Yeah. Yeah, I jumped off of that. I jumped off of that train a while ago. And I was riding that train. I and he's improved.
They're better than they were.
Colorado.
I don't hate on Coach Prime, but
No,
I'm asking that question.
no, no. But and that's what I'm trying to get to is that I was on that train, but I still he has improved them, like we said, but I don't think things are going to improve much more. I think he has reached a peak, and I start getting the sense of a lot of crybaby shit.
Well,
Uh,
my thing is like he said all that, and then the next line it says that he conceded that he's taken the majority of first team snaps this week, but he's just trying to say he hadn't made an official decision. Why all the pushback in that sense of things leading
Right.
into a game? I mean, as from a coach's perspective, would you push back that hard if you knew you probably needed to play this guy?
No, no, own it, and let's go.
Yeah, I mean, it almost feels like
Simple.
you had a chance. You had a real chance there with that question coming up, right? You got a chance to throw
Right.
your belief behind the guy and be like, hell yeah, we're going with him. He's taking most of the snaps.
But
We think that he's the
but
guy.
but that's what I'm saying, Jason, and that's why I jumped off the train because it seems like everything's got to be. What am I looking for here? I don't know. The best word that comes to me right now is drama. It seems like everything in that program is wrapped around drama. And it could, just like the example right now, he could have just said, you know what, he's taking the most snaps. Looks like he's going to be our guy this week. And we'll go from there. But it
Fair.
creates the drama into it. And that's,
This isn't the first time that he's gone after the media either. Look, I agree with what
no,
you're saying there. I think that's a fair thing to say. Since when does the media have integrity? I agree with you on that 100%. Even having been in the media, I can tell you there's not those same things aren't going on as what they were whenever I got in the media. I was in print media. Your integrity is all you got. At this point in time, it's how can I get the most eyes on what I'm saying? And that's the most clicks and advertising, all that. So a lot of these, it doesn't matter as much as about being right. Now, I'm never just gonna report bullshit just for the sake of doing it. But I don't feel like that's what this is either. Because if you're out there saying that and you're Coach Prime about this is just bull crap, well, no, it's not bull crap. You're probably pissed off because somebody inside your organization leaked it to somebody and they put it out there before you were ready to say anything.
Yep, exactly.
And so listen, I mean, I don't hate on Coach Prime. I'm not one of the dudes that sits here and says and moves the goalpost on him all the time. I'm not doing it.
No.
They went from one win 2 years in a row to 4 to 9. And now they may drop back a little bit. I don't know that I believe that they're a 8 or 9 win team necessarily this year. I don't think that they're a 4-win team either. I think that he's done a really, really good job in a bad situation when he got there, right? I think he's done a really good job. In the end, I think that Coach Prime has to learn to evolve like everybody else and deal with what's going. And part of the reason that they are able to do so well is because of how visible they are. You got to take the good with the bad with that shit, man.
Jason, I was just fixing to say that very thing. You've used your media to improve your program, but now you want to batter the media when something doesn't go your way.
Absolutely.
And
When he
you
did
got
that,
to.
they were kicking the one guy out and saying he wasn't going to answer any questions because of what CBS National said. A local guy he blows off and won't talk to him for last year. Remember? That was a bad look.
Well, again, drama. It's drama created in the program. And I'm just going to say this. I think that drama is, spilt over to his children, and we've seen that drama with the NFL, and I mean, it's just drama.
Right. Yeah. Again, I mean, that's where look, there's a lot of things that I think that goes on around Coach Prime and his kids and what's going on. I mean, there's a lot of it that I don't really have a stomach for, and I think it's bullshit. You know, the stuff about Shador where he got drafted, I think that was the epitome of the big boy of the old boy network NFL putting their thumb down on Deion Sanders and his family. Which, I mean, shit, it ain't the first time. It certainly isn't the first time that's happened, but it's the most recent time. But that being said, look, you can't use the media, like you just said, for your benefit and for people to want to come and play for you and then bitch about it when it doesn't put out the information that you wanted to put out. I think that, I think it's clear that that's who they're going to start. That's who they're going to start. And I don't even think it's a bad thing that you're going to start him. He looked really good.
No, exactly.
He's been in the program since they got there. He's been in the program. This is a guy that isn't brand new to what they're doing. I mean, is he the answer? Who knows? But if you're going to do it anyway, why the fuck do you die on this hill today and go after the media about reporting it instead of just being like, I don't know where you heard that, and I wish that people weren't leaking stuff like that. But yeah, we're going to go with
Well, that's coming out of your own. It's coming out of your own house, man. You clean up your own damn house.
Well, and listen, we know that goes on all over the country. There's always somebody. In fact, I would tell you, I promise you that there is always a paid leaker there in every program. Now, some use them more than others, right?
Yep.
But I would tell you that there's always somebody in every program that they use to leak out stuff that the school really
that they want out
or wouldn't want leaked. Yes, supposedly wouldn't want it leaked out, and they're going to deny. But we know it's fucking true, right? There's a guy at every fucking program, every big time program anyway. And look, if you're CU,
hey, Jason, if you
CU because you don't know what the hell's going to happen with Coach Prime.
Hey, Jason.
Yeah.
If you can find me one of those jobs, I'd love to take it.
Hey, man,
I'd love to be a leaker.
I promise you, my resume goes in first before I call you. if I find that job, my resume will already be in the pile. Then I'll let you know.
Well, once you get in, then you can help me find another one.
Listen, well, in that deal, we'll I'll find a way to get you involved in there somehow, and you can look for some of those things for me. But no, I agree. I think it's one of those deals that I don't know. A lot of people have said that he's going to leave as soon as his kids leave. I didn't think he'd leave this year. I wouldn't be surprised about him leaving next year. But they just gave him another contract extension, though. They just re-upped him and made him one of the highest paid coaches in the country. So I don't know for everybody who's on this idea that he's on his way out, that's none of what we've seen heading into this season says that that's the case, even though it seems like the overarching belief throughout the country that he's on his way out of there. You know what I mean? They doubled his fucking money.
Yep.
I mean, he doesn't seem like a coach trying to get rid of his job. It's a lot of money, man. It's a lot of money. So we'll see. What are you trying? Hey, are you going with Ryman Lemon coming here talking shit about my gray hair? Ryman Lemon?
Ryman.
Motherfucker. All right. So
hey, wipe your feet, people. Wipe your feet.
Yeah, we're gonna open it up for questions from you guys real quick here, right after these messages from my bookie. Hey, Jason Watkins here with Hall of Fame College Football. And if you are ready to back your favorite team, the Sooners, and fade that Texas hype train every Saturday this fall. There's only one place to do it, my bookie. Right now, you can double your first deposit up to $1,000 when you sign up at hofmedia.us/mybookie1000. That's hofmedia.us/mybookie1000. Yep, 100% deposit bonus, and it takes less than 5 minutes to get started. Whether you're betting college football, rolling the dice in the online casino, or dropping a 10-leg parlay on SEC Chaos, MyBookie has everything you need. Bet anytime, anywhere, on the go, at the tailgate, or yelling at the refs from your couch. Just don't talk trash. Put your money where your mouth is. Hit that link, hofmedia.us/mybookie1000, and get your deposit bonus today. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie and Hall of Fame College Football. All right. Make sure you get in there, get your 100% deposit bonus up to $1,000 with your first deposit on MyBookie at hofmedia.us/mybookie1000. All right. We'll open up the show, the last here, 15 minutes. We'll get questions from you guys. If if you really want your question answered, throw us a super chat and it'll make sure it gets it done. If not, we'll pick the ones we like the most. Where do we go from there? All right. First one.
I like super chats.
Super chats are cool. Let's see. Who will start at running back this week for the Sooners? First one I saw. I think it's probably going to be Jaden Ott. I think they're looking to see Jaden Ott get going. Going up against a Temple, probably a good opportunity to get him going. So I think it's probably him more than likely. And on top of that, you've got, Torrey Blaylock still nursing that injury a little bit. He played really well despite being injured, I think, this past week. But I think this is a good opportunity to not have to bang him up, to get him banged up any. I would also say, just before any other thing comes up about it, Michael Fasusi, whatever may be wrong with his ankle sprain, I don't think he should play a lick this week. I don't even know if I would take him to Philly. So there we go. Coach, will Notre Dame get back right this weekend?
You know what? I'd love to say yes, but I don't know. I mean, I feel more comfortable about our offense getting good this weekend. I think that Denbrock is, although I lost a little faith in him after last week, but I think he's a good enough experienced coordinator that he'll get us back on the right track. I think our O-line coach he has traditionally done a very good job with our O-line. I'm hoping he gets us back on the right track. I'm majorly concerned defensively, so it's hard for me to really say they're gonna get good again. But I mean, we have to get good again. I mean, that's where we are.
Must win, right? I mean, if you lose this one, you can still get to 10-2, but you'd have to rattle off 10 in a row. And I mean, 10-2 almost definitely gets you in. But then the best two teams you've played probably are going to be losses, which, you don't want to leave it up to the committee to have to think about it too much, right?
Right. No, I think with two losses, it's doubtful we get in.
I don't know about doubtful. I think that they get in at 10-2 because it's Notre Dame. But if I'm Notre Dame, I don't want to put it in the hands of a committee that may or may not be okay with me not being in the fucking conference at this point.
Right. Exactly.
Especially
and that's why I throw that out.
Michigan's AD is one of the top dudes on this committee. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just a thought. All right. Jacob S. asks, does Napier come back next year? I think it depends on how he finishes this one. If he continues to play like he's playing right now and he makes it through the season healthy and, he's in New York as a Heisman finalist, I don't think there's any way in hell he comes back. I think if you're a first round grade, if you're going to be a first round quarterback, you cannot come back I go back to Landry Jones. Landry Jones was a first-round quarterback after his junior year and decided to stay and was a fourth-rounder the year later. You just can't do it. The money says so. You can't, right? And he will have done more than enough if he becomes a Heisman finalist this year. And everybody's picking him. I don't want to talk about the Heisman until the second half of the season, but I would tell you most likely not. It just depends on how he plays out the rest of this season. I don't know. I think it looks good for him moving on. I think that would bring, and this is why somebody was asking about Michael Hawkins earlier in the show. Look, I think that I've said this already. This is the best quarterback room in the country. The best situation at quarterback that you could have in the country is having Michael Hawkins to back up this kid and learning from Ben Arbuckle and Kuzieski, right? And Napier for that matter. Napier's been great about showing him things and talking to him about what they're trying to do and what they're trying to accomplish in the offense. So I think if you're hoping for Michael Hawkins to stay in Norman, the hope would also have to be for him to be a Heisman finalist type of season and be out of here, because other than that, I think that they definitely want to get the red shirt back for Mike. I hope that that's how it turns out, but he's not going to wait another year for his shot. I don't think that there's any way he waits. I don't think he's going to Ole Miss like a lot of people do. But I don't think that he stays at OU either. And I think that that's a bad thing for Oklahoma. So that's just me. All right. Let's get to Bama and then talk Heisman. Let's get to Bama and then talk. Yes. Thank you, Ganja. That's exactly what I'm saying. Second half of the season, let's talk about Heisman. Until then, I don't think there's any point in talking about it. There's always a first half of the year guy that people want to talk about for the Heisman Trophy that isn't anywhere near, a finalist at the second half of the year because their team sucked. Right now, Bo Perbula is a Heisman guy. I don't think he's worth the shit, but we'll see. He's actually better than I think we probably thought he was. You go 30-39 against Kansas, big rivalry game win. Got to give him some props, but not many. Fuck Mizzou, so not many. All right. Let's see. Anything you're seeing in here that you want to ask, that you would like to answer? I mean, what outcome against Temple indicates we're not overlooking the opponent being lazy? I'm not going to talk about that. You got anything?
Yeah, I just to kind of briefly touch on that one though. But Temple hadn't played anybody, guys. They're going to play a really good. They're going to play a really good football team this coming weekend in OU. My question is, does OU come into the game like is mentioned, a little bit overconfident? Because if
Not
you allow
focused,
Temple to
not focused, whatever.
not focused, that's what I would do. Yeah, not focused, Jason.
Yeah.
If you don't come into this ball game not focused, I think Temple has, that they have a good tempo ball game. I think OU's got to make sure that they stay away from turnovers in that ball game. And again, and I alluded to this earlier, at this point, OU's run game outside of Napier is a little underwhelming to me at this point. But right. I think I think they have a chance to really bust out and win this game. I think the spread's like 24 and a half. And so, but I think if OU gets rolling, it'll be a blowout if they get rolling early. If it's a back and forth, it could be a tighter ball game.
I mean, what was the final? I don't even remember what the final score was. As bad as Jackson played last year, the game was never a game because the defense was scoring touchdowns and putting them in the red zone,
exactly,
turnovers and
exactly.
Such. I think the Temple's probably better than they were last year. Yes. Do I think that playing in Philly might help them? Not really, but I guess. I guess
a little
theoretically. I think that, coming off of a game against Michigan and winning the way you did, are you smelling yourself a little bit? Probably. That being said, I think you should be able to do that and still blow their asses out.
I think you'll do. I think you'll do better than what Texas did last week.
Right. Yeah. Happy birthday, legend. I didn't even realize it was your birthday. Happy birthday, my friend.
Happy birthday, brother.
Joe John deserves a lot of credit for developing Kanik. Are you sure about that, Kyle? Because I think I would probably think a little bit more about Kevin Wilson myself at the moment. But not to shit on Joe John. I shouldn't do that.
Yeah, you should. He sucked.
He sucked. 60th tomorrow. Having a few brews. Woo! Happy birthday, my man. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. All right. UMass. No, so what is JJ Giovanni Gibson? That's what you're asking. Is he coming back this week? I haven't heard. I haven't been. I mean, I'm gonna just be honest with you guys. I slept most of the day today after the weekend and traveling back yesterday. I've been lazy as fuck. I haven't talked to anybody that I know behind the scenes. Nobody that any of my people know have said anything to like another guy that would have let me know. I would say that he doesn't know. So I haven't heard anything. Here's what I would tell you. I think it'd be cool if we're ramping him up for the Auburn game, for him to play a little bit against Temple. That'd probably be good. That being said, I don't know that you want to get him hurt again against a team that you don't need him in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. I know that he was in uniform last week, could have played. They didn't play him. I think that they're definitely ramping him up, but I think they're taking their work, doing it with kids' gloves. You know, their kid gloves. They're going to be careful about it. I think that Giovanni Gibson can be the best offensive player they have if he's right. So I don't really care if we get him the second half of the season versus getting him now or not. I think what you have right now in the wide receiver room is really, really good. And so you don't have to have him at the moment, but I'd love, love, love to have him at the end of the year. How can you want the team to want it this week when you just mailed it in? Fuck you, Benji. Go kiss my ass. Hey, you know what? That deserves. You get your fucking ass right out of here for about 10 minutes.
Hey, Benji,
Motherfucker.
remind me of the Texas score this last weekend.
Asshole.
And you're talking shit?
Before he can do so.
Attaboy.
Fucker. Talking that shit all week. Anyway. All right. Let's see what else we got. Da-da-da. Everybody's giving the happy birthday for Legend. Where are your specs? Hardly recognize you, says Sooner in Texas.
You know, I lost. Well, first of all, I broke my glasses. Then I had a backup pair and I lost those. So I just got back yesterday from the eye doctor. I'm wearing contacts. And so I ordered me some glasses, but I'm also going to be wearing contacts a lot more. And, you know, contacts have come such a long ways, guys. I've had these in since Friday, not taking them out. I wear them for an entire week, sleep in them and everything. I can't even tell I have anything in my eyes, even when I wake up.
Stuck to your eyeball. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's incredible, dude. I mean, I've worn contacts before, and they used to be scratchy, and you know, hell, if you'd fall asleep in them, and they'd stick to you, and you could barely open your eyes. Hell, I wake up, open my eyes, and shit, there's a whole world there in front of me that I hadn't always seen. So,
fair enough.
It has changed my look a little bit. Hopefully for the better, but you know that's a chore in itself.
Welcome in Corrections 101. I didn't welcome you when you got in here earlier, but good question here. What is the last OU defense that was as good as this year's OU defense? Man,
It's been a while.
It's been a while. I think probably you'd have to say going back to your national championship year, maybe. I mean, those, you talk about Torrance Marshall and Superman, Roy, and everybody that Teddy on that team. Those are some nasty, nasty defenses right there. I guess you could probably bring up Gerald McCoy's years and stuff like that whenever they were really good. Steven was on that team there too. I don't know that they're as good though as this defense, to be honest with you. I'm not even sure that I really believe that Superman and Roy and Torrance Marshall and them were as good. I don't know. To me, be honest with you, I would say 85. But that's I do think that the national title year 2000, that team's defense was unfucking believable too. But I mean they held Florida State and the Heisman winner to 2 points that they gave them off of a screwy punt. So 2009 was scary good. 2001 was better, Hank says. Yeah. 2009 was scary. Yeah, they were good, but they didn't. I don't know, man. They gave up some points at times. But hey, here's the other right. This is the right answer right here. It's a small sample size. This is something that you have to do from game one to the end and see how really, really good they are at the end of the year. The chances are they could be one of the best of all time defenses, in my opinion. But we're 2 weeks in. When you go up against Texas and you go up against Hugh Freeze this 2 weeks from now, because I think he's going to throw some things at you that you probably should test you at the very least. I don't believe much in JA. And I don't think that they're going to be able to run him that way. But this is why Hugh Freeze is considered one of the best offensive minds, is because he can find ways to generate offense. So we'll see. If you can shut them down, you can shut down Texas. And then, look, here's the thing. You definitely have the opportunity to show yourself as one of the best teams of all time in Sooner history, because you've got Lenora Sellers the week after that. You've got a Tennessee offense that looks a damn sight better than I expected it to look coming into the season.
Quarterback.
Yeah, well, they're definitely. But then Ole Miss, look, Lane Kiffin, and I don't think that Simmons looked great last week, but for whatever reason, Kentucky seems to have Ole Miss's number. They found a way to win, but they were turning it over early. But again, this is a great offensive play caller in Lane Kiffin. We know that I think he's better than Sark is. And so, that's big. You got Alabama, and look, you got LSU and Nussmeier at the end of the year too. So
yeah, it's
what it looks like.
You got to get through a season. Yeah.
You're one of the best defenses in the country, a top 5 defense in the country at the end of the year with the teams that you have on this schedule. Then yeah, they may be the best one ever. But I think it's going to be. But until then, it's kind of early, right? It's kind of that. It's
too early.
But I still love the question.
Yeah,
I'm
great
glad
question.
we're having questions like this early, because a couple of years ago, let's face it, it would have been, is this the worst off defense in OU history? And we'd have a lot of fucking teams to compare it to. You know what I mean? A lot of recent teams to compare it to.
I think that defensively you're going to start seeing, like you said, Jason, when you jump into the SEC, that's when you're going to start seeing what kind of defense you had. And I know you and I will disagree on this. I'm not really impressed with Michigan, and so
we don't disagree on that so much. We don't disagree on that so much. I think,
but I really do.
They're better than what they were a year ago, probably. I don't think that they did enough to put weapons around this quarterback. And I think that they're going to always be really good in the trenches and on defense. That's what Michigan does. Sure. But I think what it meant to Oklahoma to win a game that you're not playing your best at, in a way that you're not used to winning, running over them, doing those signs, I think it was an important win to get. Had they lost it, I wouldn't think very much of OU right now at all.
Right. No. I agree 100% with that. But I think I think when you start seeing those SEC opponents, you're going to get a really good feel. And I still believe they're going to be very good no matter who they're playing.
I do too. I think that's the
my
difference
thought.
in this. Look, last year we said it last year. They were the teams that were able to score a lot of points. It's because we helped them score a lot of points by giving the ball over to them, turning it over in bad situations, 3 and outs. I mean, the Texas game, you had 9 straight 3 and outs. Of course, the dam's going to break at some point, no matter fucking how good you are on defense.
Exactly.
You have to play complementary football. And I love the fact that they're playing complementary football. That final drive that Oklahoma had the other night, 8.5 minutes, man. I don't remember a 16-play drive at Oklahoma in the last 10 years. I don't remember one. There may have been one. I don't remember one. They deleted the fourth quarter. They deleted the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it's been a while. You're right. I'm just telling you, and we've been saying it over and over, Jason. They've got a good defense. Is it a great defense? We'll find that out. But they are very, very good. I believe they're a top 5 defense this year.
Yeah, I do too. Have I heard about the backlash for the woman reporter who said her votes don't matter? She voted for Florida over USF in her poll. I saw that on Twitter earlier. Look, you want a fucking example of why Coach don't give a flying fuck about the poll? There it is. And why a lot of people say that the polls, they shouldn't even have them before week 4. And our poll is not coming out until week 5. We're not going to do one because you know what? I don't give a fuck what you think about your team until after they've played a little bit. I just don't care. But reporters like her, and it's not about a woman. It's not about it being a woman. It's about clearly you don't really give a fuck about the game and what it matters. I mean, there's no way you can pick Florida over USF after we just saw USF go to Florida and win. The fuck? It does fucking matter. It does fucking matter.
Yeah. Especially when it's head to head, man. That's plain and simple. I mean,
you said it doesn't matter.
That's facts are facts.
Either it does matter or it doesn't matter. But if you're going to treat it like it doesn't matter, but it matters at the end of the year when it gets to the committee is going to make their own decisions. But part of what goes into that are the polls. So at least they do matter somewhat. And the AP poll is what has been used to pick the national champion until they went to a playoff or until they went to the BCS. You know, it's just wild. Polls are for strippers, says Jimmy Satterfield. You have just won comment of the day. Satterfield is my man.
He is. My man too. I love it. That's why I have a poll in my office here.
Yeah. Liar. You're such a liar. Oh, let's ask Christy what she says about that.
Well, she's not going to want to admit that she uses it.
Okay. Well, then, all right. I'll buy that side of it. But if you're talking about bringing strippers in, I tell you, you're full of shit. Cut your throat. Be it. All right. We've officially gone off the rails. So,
all right.
Leave. Appreciate everybody coming in. We've been going a little over 2 hours. Coach, so good to have you back on the show tonight.
Man, it's great to be back. Glad we're just practicing 2 days a week now. And we do have our first ball game on Saturday. So we had a scrimmage this last Saturday, and we won that 5-1. We only had 10 offensive plays, and we scored 5 out of 10. So we're getting her done. We just got to, excited about this weekend though with our little team.
Man, I'm excited too. I'm not going to be on the road or anything this weekend. Maybe I'll head over there and check out Michael.
I tell you what, he's obviously he's playing center for me, But we have 4 different blocking schemes that we're using, and he makes the line calls. I don't send them into him. He hears the play.
Are you
And
offensive
he
line
makes
coach, or what are you playing? Are you
I'm coaching the offensive line,
Uh-huh.
and then I'm coaching the defense.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, I figured you'd be the DC for sure. Figured that much.
So,
Um,
but
no,
yeah, I'm
offensive
so
line
proud of him for
that makes sense to me.
being able to make line calls when you're 10 years old.
That's pretty badass.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Pretty badass. Pretty
So,
badass. Well,
oh,
when you're
and I tell you
dominating
what, it was funny.
defensive line when you go to the camp, you should be able to do it.
Well, it was hilarious at the scrimmage we had the other day. He's up there making the line calls, Alabama, Alabama, Louisiana, Louisiana. Hey, and it's hilarious because Michael said the guys on the other side were like, hey, they were on defense saying, what's Alabama? What's Louisiana? And he just and it gives our kids some confidence that they're hearing that kind of stuff. So
That's good
pretty
stuff.
funny stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. That's good stuff. I'm excited for it, man. Michael's my guy, man. I'm excited about that.
He's a character. Hey, he was even here this weekend with me because I videoed the game, the scrimmage, and I came in here and broke it down and graded all the players on each play, and he was sitting in here learning how to grade. So and that's what he says, he wants to be a coach. So
There you go.
good stuff.
I think it is good stuff. And he loves doing whatever his popo does. So, his popo does. So,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
big. It's big stuff.
Good stuff.
All right. I'm excited for it. I'll be out there for sure this weekend. Give me what time they play?
12:45 in Lovington.
Okay.
We're in Lovington this weekend.
I don't know. They don't like me there.
Yeah, I know. I know. You're not their favorite. Well, I'm not either. So we'd be good pair over there together.
Fault that I'm not their favorite. No, it's not. It's my own fault. I said something that they didn't like right away.
I'm gonna go see if I see Pigfucker.
We're gonna leave that one alone, bro. I'm not bringing that up on the channel. I'm not gonna bring that one up. That's fucking hilarious.
Hey, I love you guys, man. Y'all are all awesome. Thanks for having me back again. And golly, I
was upset that
this is just so fun.
Back that much, man. I was like, shit. Well, we were just gonna have to move it to another day because there wasn't no way that
but you and I talked about that, and that was going to be a challenge too.
Would have had to have been a Saturday night, probably.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but
hey, here we are.
That it made it through, and we're excited about it. But one thing I will say, I had no problem with you coaching, the grandson and all that kind of stuff. I was trying to figure out whatever I could figure out and
you were.
So that's all I wanted to do. But I'm excited to
get back at it.
It'll be a good weekend of football. We got some good games on tap. Can't wait for next week to get in here and talk about it again. Hopefully you won't be in as bad of a mood about Notre Dame because they found a way to get it done.
Well, hey, good luck to the Sooners.
Appreciate it, man. All right, guys. Love everybody. We'll talk to you all I'll be back in the morning on Rise and Shine College Football. Have a good one.
Love you guys.